And well, finally, Qatar and the United States have announced a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. The deal comes 15 months after the war in Gaza began after Hamas's attack on Israel. Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani told a press conference that the ceasefire will take effect on Sunday. The deal will take effect in 3 phases, with the first phase lasting 6 weeks. During the initial 42-day ceasefire, Hamas will release 33 hostages. Those first released will be women, children, elderly people, as well as ill and wounded people. Several Palestinian prisoners will also be freed in exchange for the hostages, with the final number depending on how many of the 33 hostages are alive. The Qatari Prime Minister said that the number of Palestinian prisoners to be released in the second and third phases will be finalized during the initial 42 days. Israeli forces will withdraw from Gaza and remain positioned on its borders to allow for the exchanges to happen. This phase will also see the return of the displaced people to their residences. U.S. President Joe Biden, meanwhile, said he was deeply satisfied this day has come, calling the negotiations some of the toughest of his career.
Because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. For more than 15 months of conflict that began with Hezbollah's brutal massacre on October the 7th, more than 15 months of terror for the hostages, their families, the Israeli people, more than 15 months of suffering by the innocent people of Gaza. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families. The deal is structured in 3 phases. Phase 1 will last 6 weeks. It includes a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all the populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages held by Hamas, including women and elderly and the wounded. And I'm proud to say Americans will be part of that hostage release in Phase 1 as well. And the Vice President and I cannot wait to welcome them home. In exchange, Israel released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. And during Phase 1, the Palestinians can also return to their neighborhoods in all the areas of Gaza.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke with U.S. President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump on Wednesday to thank them for their help in securing the deal. The office of Israeli Prime Minister cautioned that some issues in the framework remain unsolved. Now, though it expressed hope, the details will be finalized soon. The agreement came after months of negotiations and days ahead of the inauguration of Biden's successor, Trump. The U.S. President-elect hailed the deal even before it was officially announced by the White House. Envoys from both Trump's incoming administration and Biden's outgoing one had been present at the latest negotiations. When asked on if he or incoming Donald Trump is to take credit for the Gaza ceasefire deal, President Joe Biden responded, "Is that a joke?"
Thank you.
Brooks, credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
Demonstrators in Tel Aviv calling for the release of the hostages embraced as the news of the agreement spread. Thousands across Gaza also celebrated the reported deal. And Palestinians across the world celebrated as the news broke out that negotiations have been reached and a phased deal to end the war in Gaza has been reached.
Polizei gezwungen, mit jetziger Uhrzeit. Der ehemaligen